Please be seated. Jesus, the carpenter's son, would appreciate that today I'm going to use a tool, so to speak, from my box of tools here to explain the Beatitudes for us today. We hear the Beatitudes every year, but sometimes hearing them over and over again, they don't seem to register of what the real meaning of the Beatitudes are for us. So, in the spirit of Jesus the carpenter, I thought I would use a tool to help us understand the Beatitudes. Now, if I was to ask you, what do you think is the most often used tool from your own home or your box of tools, your bag of tools? What do you think is the most popular or most frequently used tool? It's a screwdriver. Then there's the hammer. Then there's the saw. And the list goes on, the drills. And of course, something that you don't use that often is what we call the level. You've all seen one of these before? It's called a bubble level or a spirit level. It was invented back in 1661. Pretty old. But many of us use this to ensure that things that are uneven become straight. Things that are unbalanced become balanced. Things that are lopsided become straight. The level is a good image for us today because the level's purpose is to make sure the job gets done right. If something is out of whack, your building will suffer. Your structure, something will be lopsided, unbalanced, uneven. So the balance that the level seeks to find is a good image for us for the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes ensure balance. The level that is used to build structures makes sure everything is built evenly. The Beatitudes are the same. They are the attitudes, pardon the pun, that place us all on the same level. When we're all on the same level, we can see each other face to face as equals. No one is looking down at us or up to us. We are all leveled out. The Beatitudes is God's way of leveling with us. Pardon the pun. But God is leveling with us. And He's saying this: if you wish to move to a higher level, another level with God, you need to embrace the Beatitudes that level us out. For we see God in the poor, the mourning, the heartbroken, the stranger, the persecuted, those who are trying to make ends meet. The Beatitudes are the attitudes that level us to see God in every person. Our lives of faith will be spiritually uneven, unbalanced, unequal, wobbly, slanted, broken, if we don't level with God. The Beatitudes is the leveling point. It's the place where there is balance. We're all on the same altitude. Why? Because God came to our level. Think about that. He came to our level. He came from down to our level. He became human for a purpose, to teach us to be on the same level with each other, to be His face that is shown in the way we love each other, especially in the poor, the weak, the broken, the stranger, the lost. The Beatitudes invite us and remind us that God's love came to our level because His love is for everyone. His love isn't for the powerful and the privileged. His love is for the vulnerable and the weak. We are all on the same level when we embrace these attitudes, these beatitudes that Christ teaches us in the gospel today. For when Jesus speaks about a kingdom here on earth, it's not a place, it's a condition, an attitude. It's a level. To be level with God, we need to come to each other's level. Pastors who are effective are pastors that move among their people, come down to their level, preach the gospel in their language, in their understanding the pulse of the pew, so to speak. We cannot have effective communication with each other until we come to each other's level and we hear each other's heart. We hear each other's fear. We hear each other's hope. Most of us have been taught to get through this life through power, strength, accomplishment, acquisition. The more toys you have, the better you will be. The more property you own, the more accounts you have, the more, and the list goes on. Yet, the Beatitudes today offer a different way of navigating life. It's not about overcoming circumstances or overcoming other people. It's about overcoming ourselves. We need the Beatitudes so that we can be leveled out. We can become humble. We can become one with each other and one with our God who stands with everyone. And so maybe we need new Beatitudes. Maybe we need new attitudes that level us out. And so I wrote a few. How about this? Blessed are you who surrender or offer up your own comfort in order to help someone else, so that you can be on the same level with God, who is with the poor, the broken, the lonely, the downcast. Blessed are those of you who pray and work for unity and communion between all religions, and level with their understanding, that you will come to the level of understanding that there is only one God who longs to level with us. Blessed are those who level themselves with others by taking time just to listen, to hear the sounds of other people. Sounds that may appear different, yet they're the same. For we all laugh the same, we all suffer the same, we all feel pain, fear, excitement, joy. Our songs may sound different, but they are still the same. Blessed are those who level themselves with others by letting go of an attitude that might change their altitude from another, For they will finally see God has no favorites. And blessed are they who place themselves at the same level of those who are poor, broken, lonely, hurting. Not because it makes them feel good, but because it's the right thing to do. For their lives will be in balance, in line, even with God, when we come down to the level of God in those who are poor among us. When and if we change our attitudes, we can change our level. We can come to a level place, because it's our attitudes that become our thoughts. Our thoughts become our words become our actions become habits, and habits become our character, and character becomes our destiny. Beatitudes are a roadmap for our lives, a way of life which keeps us level with Jesus, that keeps us level with God. But the Beatitudes take us to another level. For they are more than words. They are a life centered on God and God's desire for our lives to level out. This week, I would encourage all of you to go to the basement or wherever your tools are and take out the level. You may be a little one, maybe one this side, and just place it somewhere where you're going to see it. And may it remind you that the Beatitudes level us. May it remind you that the only way we will experience and come to level with God is when we level with each other. May it be a reminder to us that in order for our lives to be in balance, to be in sync, to line up that bubble, to line up our lives with God, we need to level with God through leveling with each other. We need to become blessings for others by being equals with each other. By not looking down, but looking at each other face to face. We look down with our thoughts. We look down with our attitudes. And so I am hopefully lifting you up today to a different level. To see that our God is calling us to be peacemakers. To look for ways to offer mercy and compassion by pursuing justice, righteousness. And the only way we can do that is if we come level face to face with God in the leveling of our lives with each other. We learn more face to face when we listen and hear the hearts and sounds of one another. And so this week, the Beatitude is really a word that means blessing. We bless our lives and the lives of others by leveling out and leveling with each other. And more importantly, leveling with our God, who calls us to a different level, to be his spirit level, his bubble level for the world, so that we can light a candle and say to the darkness, we beg to differ, because we are now at the level God longs us to be. May Jesus Christ be praised. Amen. Amen.